And there is Mr. McDowell right there.
Hello.
Hello, Pat. Welcome. Francis, Judy, they have jettisoned themselves. It is now us, Pat. Welcome to EPARTRADE Industry Week. And when I think about this week, I think about speed and performance and the fact that it all really started with you guys on the dry lake beds, Southern California Timing Association in Bonneville, the Salt Flats. Got to be honest with you, an area of the motorsports arena that I have yet to experience in person, but everybody tells me you got to do it. And it's actually a good thing that I've saved it maybe towards the end, because it is maybe, I don't want to compare it to religion, but it's definitely a spiritual thing. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you guys got going on?
Well, it is hot rod Mecca, and it's on bucket lists around the world. I'll tell you that. And I'll tell you, once you go, you'll keep going back. It's an amazing place. It's in its natural beauty. It's like one of the wonders of the world. And it is true that if you get in the right place, you can see the curvature of the earth when you get there. And I'm one of the fortunate ones that I get there in the very beginning, so I see it completely natural, and then see the whole thing take shape for our week, and the tents going up and all the cones and roads going in and all that. And then I try to be the last one off the salt at the end of the week, and I always stop and turn around and look at it in its natural beauty when we leave. It is hallowed ground for hot rodders, and it's been around 100 years. It started as endurance racing, big circles, miles and miles, or they would run cars 24 hours, and just the factories are out there doing that. And there's been some kind of racing or automotive stuff out there for over 100 years now. And we went there as the first time in 1949. We've been on the dry lake since the 30s, and we started in 49, and I think coming up we'll have our 74th year this year. We're pretty proud of that. It's we got to be one of the oldest continuous running races I think there is. And we start in May in our dry lakes racing, which are clubs racing, and at El Mirage Dry Lake now, and that runs from May through November. And then right in the middle, we stop and make the trek to the Bonneville Salt Flats in August. And people come from all over the world for that. And it's normally quite an event. This year was unfortunate. Mother Nature is still in charge, and she showed us again for that this year. And it's kind of ironic that the entire Western United States is in an epic drought, and we got rained out of 6 consecutive meets. It's kind of hard to believe, but it happened.
Wow. Well, but the math, right? Like you got it all done at once, and hopefully here in 2023, you guys will be clean. And at least that's the way I choose to look at it, the whole weather situation. But I recall following that story, and you said it. Sometimes when you're doing outdoor promotion, when you're racing cars at hundreds of miles per hour, you need Mother Nature to agree to let you do it. And in this given situation, she did not. But eyes forward to 2023, obviously, we want to know what you got going on, and speak a little more in depth about the character of these racers, because I know we got a lot of people from all around the motorsports world, probably in a similar situation to me, that haven't yet been, and we want them to go and be involved as much as is possible. From what I understand, it's quite the collection, and everybody that I know is involved in high performance. They've got something that they're doing out there on the dry lakes, trying to set a record, trying to join the 200-mile-per-hour club. This is still a big part of high performance.
Yes, we're very unique, and to me, one of the draws for me is, and I don't mean this because we have sponsors, and I don't mean to alienate anybody, but it's almost a complete absence of corporate America. And a wise man once said, we're amateurs and we prove it every day. But this is run by the racers for the racers, and you meet all walks of life out there. And you could have a guy setting a record for 35 miles an hour and one setting a record at 435 miles an hour, but it's the same smile on their face when they set that record. And you got to remember, people are living the dream out there. These vehicles are built in their garage, maybe months, years, and they come out and they finally get there, and you can see it in their face that they just got there to attempt this record. And Some make it the first time, some don't, but they'll all be back. I've never met anybody that's only been there once, but yeah, there's all types of records. And like I say, we have records 35 miles an hour, and now we're getting ready to break the 500-mile-an-hour barrier. So we have a little bit of something for everybody.
Yeah, that is amazing. A couple of years ago, Mr. Petit going out there and chasing a record again. I think we all remember growing up as kids, and Bonneville was a yearly thing, chasing records, chasing big speeds, trying to go after the sound barrier, that kind of stuff. But that spirit of innovation is back, and people are going out there, and the technology has advanced dramatically, just like in every other form of motorsport. Why don't you speak on that a little bit, how this has become, because it's not restricted, as I understand it, right? Like this is maybe the last bastion of total creativity and innovation.
Well, we have classes and stuff that, you know, for you have to meet, but yeah, there is a certain, you can do a lot of what you want in most of them. Some of them are unlimited, but you know, one of the best thing is, seems like everybody has their own idea of what makes something go fast, and most of it works when it comes out here. And yes, there are some pretty amazing innovations out there that people make in their garage, and then someday they're going to become part of the mainstream. And there's a lot of good automotive minds out there, people from other racing venues that somehow find their way to Bonneville, and like I say, it gets in the blood. But there is innovations of all kinds. We still run roadsters with flatheads in them, but then we got some flatheads that are state of the art. So there is technology out there. It's not a corporate brand, but it's amazing stuff, and you will see one of each out there. It's really kind of fun to just stroll the pits sometimes and see what's out there. And people are friendly, and they talk to you, and they help each other, which is a really big thing to me.
For those that have never been, things like this, you know, going somewhere, anywhere for the first time can be intimidating. And I also understand that going out on the salt, there's some challenges with that, and getting a car and getting a hotel, and where do I go and what do I do? There are so many people that would love to do this, to be a part of it, just to watch it, just to see it for the very first time, but don't even know where to get started for that kind of information. You know, the insider's road to how to go there and, you know, not get lost, not get stuck, not get billed for your rental car because there's salt up in it. Can you give us some of those notes and put us on the journey a little bit?
Well, the first thing you need is good sunglasses, a lot of sunblock, and a good wide brim hat. Number one. Hotels, you know, we're in a town of Wendover and West Wendover, and there's casinos and stuff there, and they do fill up. But if you get them early enough, there's rooms to be had. It's not totally impossible to get rooms. If you stay farther away, there's more rooms, but it's not a drive you want to make every day, I don't think. So I'm pretty sure Wendover would be able to cover most people. A lot of people bring motorhomes and stuff like that. There are camping areas out there. So, you know, it's not in a metropolis type area. So it's a drive for anybody to get there. I have a 700-mile drive that I've made 24 years in a row now. And there's people that come from all over. I mean, we got to remember our international family that, well, now they can come back after COVID. That was a tough one, but they ship their race vehicle and stuff months before they go. So then they have to come pick it up and drive it to the salt. And that's a major undertaking for them. I wouldn't even know how to begin to do some of that, but they all love to be here, and we love for them to be here. As far as tricks of the salt, the rent-a-car thing, yeah, you got to take care of it. A lot of people use cooking oil, spray it on there, and that does help to some extent. The main thing is don't drive in the wet salt. I mean, that's number one. If you see wet salt, it's may look fun, but it is not. After this year, you know, we had well over a foot of water on the salt, and when we left, and we have to go out there and pick all our stuff up and all that. And so my truck spent 3 days out there, and now every light on the dash is on. So it takes some sensor cleaning and stuff like that. That's unfortunately part of the deal, but somebody has to do it. So, but the main thing is you need an ice chest and a lot of liquids. I would leave adult beverages back at the hotel because it's a little hot out there for that, but stay hydrated, keep the sunblock on, the hat and the glasses, and then just walk around and check it out. Like I say, the pits are so user friendly. It's amazing to just sit and talk to these people, and then you can go to the starting line and watch them take off. And it's pretty much, just can make your own trip out of it. It is kind of, you're in awe when you first get there. I know the first time I went, and I've considered myself a gearhead my whole life, but it's different there. And part of it is it's a mystique of Bonneville. I mean, Bonneville is a term that people use. A lot of people haven't been there, but they know what it is, and it's a big thing to them. It was to me. And so to get there the first time, I didn't bring near enough film my first trip. I'll tell you that. It was easy to use a lot, but there's something for everybody out there. I mean, if you like vintage motorcycles, they're all over. Flatheads or Streamliners, it's all there.
Yeah, the Streamliners are intriguing to me, of course. And the recent, I mentioned George Petit, but also Danny Thompson, those storylines, like watching that story unfold over decades, right? Like, this is the car, this is what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And it's a longer run for speed, and it takes longer to chase that dream. It's like a longer, slower process to get to the point where you can go faster, if that makes a sense. Talk about some of the recent examples that have broken through beyond the flats, a lot of mainstream attention, a lot of performance world attention.
Well, the Danny Thompson story, the George Petit story, those both are, and both of them are, we thank them a lot because they're not only racers and all that, but they're good friends of our organization and have been very helpful with us. And we thank them for that. They're both completely nice people, and it has been something to watch. Mr. Petit helps us a lot whenever he can, and we really thank him for that. But to watch that car grow, and to see Danny's car, the final completion of it, and that was a venture that his dad started 30 some years ago. So that was quite a thing to see and to follow. And Danny finally had his day, and George has had his day, but they're not over. I mean, I know George wants to go 500 miles an hour, and he's inching up on it. And we did have the Turbinator go 500 miles an hour on an exit speed, so it's not a recorded record, but it was over 500 miles an hour, and that's the only run of that fast ever. And it was quite a sight to see and to be part of. There's other cars coming that are like that. The technology is spreading, if you will. When it first comes out, like the Speed Demon, it's to say it's state of the art is almost an understatement. And there is no Streamliner store to just go down and buy this stuff. It all needs to be made and thought out. And does it work the first time? Do we need to change it? And there's a lot of cars like that. But now that technology is spreading, and mainly because people don't hide stuff from each other. For one, I think the collaboration is really, really big in our sport. I know for years, like, it always kind of amazed me, pro stock cars and drag racing, go by their pit and they got a big blanket over their engine. Nobody, so nobody can see anything. Well, you don't see that here. And people are willing to talk about anything. And like I say, the innovation, it's endless. And now we're on the dawn of the EV cars coming, which is a whole new world for us. And we don't claim to be experts at it yet. And it's going to be a process also, because battery technology is changing by the day. And so you can get a lot more power with a lot less weight of batteries. So we have to kind of wait and see as they come, and how that's going to work. But they're amazing vehicles too. The amount of torque they make is incredible. So it's you just can't hear them. That's kind of a kind of a bummer for a lot of people that are there, but you can see them. So we're on the edge of that, and that's something to look forward to. But I really hope George goes 500 miles an hour, and I know Danny is maybe thinking about a new car, so we'll see about that. That would be awesome to see. But when you think about it, a lot of these cars out there, they're basically using a top fuel motor, and that's their power. And top fuel motors are made to run 5 seconds, and these guys are going 5 miles, and that's something to be said for itself. To hold something like that together for that amount of time and miles, and just having to store enough fuel to be able to go that far. So it's pretty smart people out there working on these things.
Well, exactly. And all motorsports. It was interesting to hear you mention the EVs, because it's a bit of a polarizing thing around the internal combustion world. I spent a lot of time in drag racing, and it's one of those situations where you seem to either, like the idea of new technology and are curious, or hate them, right? Like vile poison. But the fact is that it's coming. And I never even considered that would be a part of land speed racing. And yet I should have, right? Like if it's a car, it's got wheels,
Right.
it's going to want to go faster than the next guy.
Yeah, I think we were generally of the same opinion. And there's a lot of people in our organization that maybe came from drag racing and hot rodding, and I got to be nice to all my people here, but
Be nice. Be
our
nice,
average
guy.
age is up there a little bit, and so we'll say it that way. And so the dawn of the electric car, not real well received in some camps. I'll say that, but no one's against it. But they're like everybody else. We really don't understand it yet as to what's what, and that's due to the technology changing daily. We have some people in our group that are on the cutting edge of it, and we try to talk to them and listen to it and get some of it. But they are coming, so we just have to wait and see. We were going to have a few new ones last year, and we were excited about that, but they don't run too well in water, so we didn't get to do that. But they'll be I think more ready for this coming year, and we'll be excited to see that.
Go ahead.
We don't try to keep anybody out. We just, it takes us a while to get used to it in some areas, and we have a lot of guys that don't think small motorcycles should be out there, and that comes from the thought of he's sitting in his fire suit waiting for this bike to go, and it's 100 degrees, and that bike's going 40 miles an hour, but at the end of the day, he paid the same amount of money to run, and his smile is just as big when he sets a record, and then everybody's okay. So,
Well, and I think that's leading me into what I was going to ask you. In the end, you guys are on EPARTRADE because you want to grow and you want to entice new people who have never been to come and see this amazing spiritual, mecca of motorsports. And so for those that are already involved in a motorsport, hot rodders, round track people, sprint car people who know how to turn a wrench and make something go fast, but they're uninitiated into land speed racing. Maybe they got a little time and they want to do it, right? Like what's the gateway? What's the step? I mean, other than, go to the website and pick a category, like what would you suggest is the best, most common, the route to go, not being George Petit right out of the box necessarily, but to become initiated with land speed racing and become part of the culture?
well, I would suggest going once just to see it. But I will say this, that a lot of our technology and people that know each other, that does trickle into other motorsports areas, and we got a lot of people now that are in the NASCAR field that are hearing about Bonneville and want to partake in it, and people, the drag racing has been paralleled with us for a long time. And so that is kind of carrying over. I don't know if I would build a car before I ever went there. I don't know if I would do that. Our rule book is pretty good to help you and stuff like that. And we take pride in our rule book and our safety and all that. I think I would come and see it myself for the first time, but once you come, it gets you. So you might as well start thinking about something. But there's so many classes to run, like roadsters. You know, we got sedans and all kinds of stuff before you get into the streamliners and all that. Streamliners are pretty they're pretty technical item nowadays, but yeah, you know, if you're going to go that fast, you need to be able to do it right. So I don't know. I think a lot of people in the racing end of it, even though a guy works on a sprint car, he knows somebody that goes to Bonneville. So just that kind of preamble, if you will, to get it going. And if you want to go there, then it's going to start the ball rolling and you'll find your niche. There's so many different classes that it would be hard to tell somebody to start here or start there. It's kind of up to that guy, you know, and so it's not that easy. I don't think, to just pick something and go out there the first time. Even motorcycles. We have 100 motorcycle classes and there's something for everybody, but you got to find that niche. And there's research you can do on it, but I still say you got to come see it and then see what's out there and see what fits you, or maybe work on somebody's car for a while. Come visit. You know, people are willing to have their crew members come from all over and help. There's always that to be found, and that's a good stepping stone. And maybe you don't like 105-degree heat with no shade, so you have to find all that. But
if there's fast cars around, they can deal with it.
Right.
Pat, as time's starting to grow short, let's make sure everybody has the vital information. I know that their curiosity is piqued. I'm sure there are plenty of people out there that have been many times that are planning their next trip, especially since what happened last year, kind of a washout. So there will be pent up demand, but tick through, contact information, where to go to find out the vitals, to follow the schedule, all of those things for our audience out there so that they can follow along in 2023 and watch.
Yeah, well, you can go to our website, the SCTA.BNI.org, and there are links on there to where you can find lodging, nearest lodging, and all that kind of thing. There is actually a page on Bonneville that's helpful hints, just stuff to bring with you, and what to have and all that. That's all pretty good. Schedules are on there. Our 23 schedule is out on the website. Speed Week is August 5th through August 11th this year. And that's our main thing. And I just checked the salt camera today, and then the water's out there, but it's receding, and it's usually wet this time of year. So that actually helps us in the end, because with it being wet and the wind comes up, it's like taking a butter knife to it and smooths it out. So we're looking forward to excellent salt this year. We would have had excellent salt this year until Saturday, but like you say, Mother Nature's in charge. So that I would follow our schedule and the website, and there are links to that. And then just read up what you can on it. And some of the the magazines are getting into it a little bit. But as far as what you want to do out there, I leave that open to when you get there and step on the salt. And I'm not a religious man or a superstitious man, but when I stepped on the salt, it changed me forever. I will say that. So it's out there for everybody. There's something that everybody can find out there.
And Pat, thank you for sharing that with us. It's exactly what we wanted to know about. There's racing all around the world, but if this one place has got people from all around the globe that go there and have that experience that you just relayed to us, like a changed person, changed the direction of your life, it's something that I think we should all go and experience. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you very much.
It's an iconic place, an iconic event. And I mean, we have a lot of iconic event we're featuring this week. We had Pikes Peaks a half an hour ago. We're featuring Le Mans. I mean, it's a nonstop for 5 days. So thank you very much. I mean, land speed is a very important element within the racing industry. And it's a very strong community that love real racers. And thank you very much, Pat, for joining us today and sharing your passion for Bonneville.
Registering on EPARTRADE is easy. To start, click on the Join for Free button on the homepage. First, search your company to see if it's already in our database. If you see your company on the list, click on it to select it. Then, choose Claim Company if you are one of the decision makers, an owner, marketing person, or main company contact. Or choose Join Company if you are an employee, and press Continue. If you couldn't find your company in our database, select Register a New Company. On the following page, fill out your name, email, phone number, job title, and choose a secure password. If you chose Register a New Company, you'll need to choose your business type. Select Supplier if you're looking to display products or services and connect with buyers. Choose Racing Business if you're looking to source new parts and connect with suppliers. Choose Race Team if you own or are a member of a professional race team. Then, enter your company name. Please provide a website, Facebook page, or LinkedIn if you have one, and choose to either claim or join the company. You can view and agree to our terms of use here. If you'd like to receive our weekly newsletter, choose Accept. Finally, click Register Now and your registration will be submitted for approval. An email will be sent to your inbox. Please confirm your email address and you will be approved shortly. Welcome to EPARTRADE.